particular patient. Okay? So this is the phenotype of this particular patient. Anong gagawin natin? So kunyari itong patient na to, meron siyang anti-capital C at meron siyang anti-capital E. Okay? So example, this individual has the anti-capital E and anti-capital C. So kunyari may anti-capital C, may anti-capital E. So dito guys, we can conclude that anti-capital C is what? Anti-capital C is actually a auto-antibody. Bakit siya auto-antibody? Because this is an antibody that targets an antigen present on the patient red cells. I repeat, this is an antibody that targets antigen present on the patient red cell. Okay, so this is an antigen that, an antibody rather, that targets antigen present on the patient red cell. Okay, so ayan, may capital C, whereas anti-capital E, this is classified as This is classified as a allo antibody. Okay, so bakit siya tinawag na allo antibody? Because this is an antibody that targets an antigen absent. Okay, it targets an antibody absent on the patient red cell. So as you can see, wala naman pong capital E si patient. Okay, so as you can see, ulitin ko, wala naman pong capital E si patient. And the test to differentiate, okay, auto from allo antibody, that is your autocontrol. Okay, so how do we perform autocontrol? Autocontrol is simply patient red cell plus patient serum. So autocontrol is simply patient red cell plus patient serum. Okay, so autocontrol, I repeat, is simply patient red cell plus patient serum. So pag positive, okay, pag positive, that is auto-antibody. Pag negative, then definitely we are talking about an allo-antibody. Okay, so positive, auto, negative, allo-antibody. Additionally, immunoglobulins can be classified as what? Additionally, immunoglobulins can be classified as naturally occurring or regular. So naturally occurring or regular, or this is what we call as your expected antibodies. So regular or expected antibodies. So bakit tinawag na regular or expected antibodies? Because these are antibodies that are normally present. Okay, so these are antibodies that are normally present in a serum. Okay, so antibodies that are normally present typically in a serum. Okay, so dito guys, the antigenic stimulus is ano? Ang inong-isip ng antigenic stimulus, remember, the antibodies, they are usually what? The antibodies, these are usually product of exposure to a foreign red cell antigen. So antibodies, I repeat, are usually products of exposure to a foreign red cell antigen. So that is your antibody. Pero pagdating sa natural occurring, the stimulus is unknown. Bakit stimulus is unknown? We do not know the reason who is actually what? We do not know the reason who is actually responsible, or why do you think these antibodies were actually produced? Okay, so di natin alam why are these antibodies were actually produced. Okay, so a very good example of this one, that is your ABO antibodies. So a very good example of this, that is your ABO antibodies. So ABO antibodies, I repeat, example, so ABO antibodies, bakit? Pagdating dito, the stimulus, take note, is actually unknown. Okay? So remember, pag ikaw type A, you have the anti-B. Pag ikaw type B, you have the anti-A. And we do not know the reason why these antibodies were produced. Ibig sabihin, naturally occurring antibodies are antibodies that does not require foreign exposure for the antibodies to be produced. I may repeat, these are antibodies that does not require foreign exposure for the antibodies to be produced. In some references, ang tawag sa kanila, non-RBC stimulated. Bakit? Non-RBC stimulated because the antibodies were actually what? Okay, produced. The antibodies were actually produced as a result of exposure to a foreign antigen present in the what? To a foreign antigen present in the environment. There could be A-like or B-like substances in the environment. Kaya non-RBC stimulated, they produce this particular antibody because the individual was exposed to the A-like or B-like substances in the environment. Okay? And the test to detect naturally occurring antibodies, ang tawag po dyan, reverse typing. So the test to detect the presence of this naturally occurring antibody, ang tawag po dyan, reverse typing or serum typing. Okay? Kaya, reverse typing or serum typing, we only perform that in the, okay? We only perform it actually in the, we only perform it in the ABO cells. Okay? In the ABO blood group rather. Okay? In contrast to the naturally occurring antibodies, we have here your immune antibodies. In contrast to the naturally occurring antibodies, I repeat, we have here your immune antibodies, or also referred to as your unexpected, okay? Unexpected or your irregular, okay? So, unexpected or your irregular antibody. So, unexpected or your irregular antibody. So, tinawag siyang unexpected or irregular antibodies because these are antibodies that are not usually present. Okay? These are antibodies that are not usually present. Okay? So, these are usually produced as a result of exposure. So, I repeat, this is usually product of exposure to a foreign red cell antigen. Ano nangyari? Okay, so there is what? Okay, exposure to the foreign red cell antigen either through blood transfusion, actually through pregnancy. Okay, so there is actually a blood transfusion or actually through pregnancy. Kaya nagkaroon ng foreign exposure. Okay? So what is the test that is used to detect these immune antibodies? So ang test naman na ginagamit natin dyan, that is your antibody screening and identification. So the test that is used to detect, the presence of immune or unexpected or irregular antibodies, that is your antibody screening. Okay? So in the test to detect the presence of natural occurring antibodies, that is uh, red cell typing, reverse typing, pagdating sa immune antibodies, the test that is used to detect it is actually what? That is your antibody screening or identification. Okay? So remember, immunoglobulin classes, this is just a review. Immunoglobulin classes are actually differentiated based on the heavy chain. Okay? So immunoglobulin classes, I repeat, are actually differentiated based on the heavy chain. So they are usually differentiated based on the heavy chain. And kindly take note, okay? So kindly take note that the immunoglobulin class is okay? Immunoglobulin class is important in the blood bank. We have here the IgG and the IgM, okay? O let's differentiate the two. Pag sinabi po nating IgG, remember this is warm reacting. Okay? So IgG warm reacting, pagdating po sa IgM cold reacting. So tandaan nyo guys ha, warm reacting sa IgG, cold reacting si IgM. What else? IgG is a coating antibody. It will not cause direct agglutination. Okay? This is a coating antibody and it will not cause direct agglutination, whereas IgM being the largest, this is actually an agglutinin. Ibig sabihin ng agglutinin, it can actually cause agglutination. Okay? It can actually cause, I repeat, agglutination. Okay, so since this is an agglutinin, it can actually cause agglutination. Okay, so IgG, warm coating, IgM, agglutinin, cold reacting antibody. Okay, so it's very important for us to determine, okay, it's very important for us to determine what blood group. It's very important for us to determine a blood group that is associated with IgG production and a blood group that is important or associated with IgM production. Kasi later on, pagdating natin ng, okay, pagdating natin ng antibody screening, okay, it's very important for us to know the blood groups that are associated with, okay, it's very important for us to know on what blood group is associated with IgG or IgM. So, tandaan nyo lang to guys. Rich, Dayring. Okay, so Rich, Dayring, Kid, can kill. This is from my former professor, Sir Greg. Okay, Sir Greg of UST. So, dito guys, sa sentence na to, makikita natin on what blood group is associated with IgG production. We have the RH, we have the Daffy, okay, we have here the Kid, we have here the Ken, we have the SS, and take note, yung red IgG. So, this is associated with IgG production. In most cases, pag wala siya dito, sa RH, sa Daffy, the Kid, the Kel, the SS, okay? In most cases, pag wala po siya dito, then we are talking about IgM antibodies. Okay? So, pag wala siya dito, then in most cases, we are talking about IgM. Example, the P1 is associated with IgM production. The M, the N. Okay? So, take note, these are the antibodies associated with IgG production. Okay? In blood bank, we do have what we call a reduction of antibody. So pag sinabi po natin reduction of antibody, it's actually defined as the conversion. Okay? So reduction of antibody is the conversion of a polymeric into monomeric antibody. Remember, when we say polymeric, it's actually an antibody made up of more than one monomer. And a very good example of that is your IgM. Okay? A very good example of a monomeric antibody, that is your IgM. So from polymeric, naging monomeric na po siya. In other words, this will destroy what? This will destroy the what? This will destroy the joining chain. Remember what connects the 5 monomers together? That is your joining chain. So I repeat, what connects the 5 monomers together? That is your J chain. So the reagents that can be used, we have the 2-mercaptoethanol, and we have here the dithiotritol. So I repeat, these are the reagents. Okay, so these are the reagents that can actually what? That can actually destroy the joining chain. So reduction. So anong ginagawa po nito? This can actually be used to what? To destroy or remove IgM antibodies. So the purpose of this reagent, the 2-mercaptoethanol dithiotritol, is actually to remove the antibodies or interfering IgM antibodies. Okay? The 2-mercaptoethanol and dithiotritol. Okay? So we have here your factors influencing the antigen-antibody reaction. We have here your first, the antigen-antibody ratio. So the effect of zonal reaction, or remember, in our previous discussion, when we say effect of zonal reaction, for the reaction to be visible, okay, the antigen and antibody concentration are equal. Okay? And the phase wherein the antigen and antibody concentration are equal, it is actually in the zone of equivalence. Okay? The phase wherein the antigen and antibody concentration are equal, that is your, okay, zone of equivalence. So the antigen and antibody concentration, I repeat, they are equal. Okay? Pro-zone, there is excess antibody. Post-zone, there is excess antigen. And this will result to false negative result. Okay? So the pro and the post-zone phenomenon will give you a false negative result. Okay? So the pro and the post-zone phenomenon, I repeat, will give you a false negative result. So, anong kailangan gawin to prevent this one? We perform dilution. Okay? So, to prevent the pro and the post-zone phenomenon, what we do is to perform dilution. Okay? Also, meron tayong tinatawag na dosage effect. Okay? O, pag sinabi po nating dosage, this is actual phenomenon in which red cells from homozygous people possesses more antigen per red cell than cells from heterozygous people. Okay? So dosage is a phenomenon in which red cells from homozygous possesses more antigen per red cells than heterozygous people. Okay, so example, so sa dosage effect, example ng dosage effect, example, we have here M positive, a phenotype here, M positive, N positive, and a phenotype that is M positive and negative. Okay, so as you can see, may take note, may M positive, N positive, M positive, and negative. Pag sinabi mong dosage, lagyan mo sila parehas ng anti-M. Okay, both of them will react. Bakit? Lahat naman sila may M antigen. Okay, both of them, they have the M antigen. Pero ang pinagkaiba lang dito is that cells coming from homozygous genotype as compared to the cells coming from heterozygous will have more antigen. So dito guys, which of these two is homozygous? Which of these two came from a homozygous genotype? So the answer here is this one. This is the one that is found in the homozygous. Ito po ay heterozygous. Okay? So ito kasi, this came from MN, whereas this one came from MM. Okay? So double M. So double dose MM. So parehas mo sila lagyan ng anti-M. Both of them will give you a reaction, but this time, always remember, yung galing sa homozygous genotype will give you a higher degree of reaction. Okay? So cells coming from homozygous genotype will give you a higher degree of reaction. Eto, buti sana, kung ganito, walang problema. But sometimes kasi, partida, homozygous, lagyan mo 1 plus reaction. So partida, homozygous na yun, 1 plus. Pagdating sa heterozygous, it can give a negative result. And this is now what we call as your dosage. In the homozygous genotype, if the cells came from the homozygous genotype, it can yield a higher degree of reaction. So what are those blood groups that demonstrate dosage? So MNSS, double S, Daffy, double F, KID, double D, RH, except capital C, except the D, ang meron dito yung mga double C, double E, di ba? Double C, double E, and Lutheran. O, ano yung tunay na double kay Lutheran? As early as now, sabihin ko sa inyo, ang double kay Lutheran is the double P. Okay? Ang tunay na pangalan ni Lutheran, the term Lutheran blood group, came from the Lutheran individual. Ang pangalan niya po is double T, hindi po T at H. Okay? Hindi po T and H. Okay? So again, these are the blood group that demonstrate dosage. What else? The pH, 6.5 to 7.5. In most cases, okay? So in most cases, para magkaroon ng reaction, the pH should be neutral. Okay, so in most cases, for the antigen-antibody reaction to cause a reaction, they should be in a neutral pH. Okay, but some reacts best at an acidic pH, example 6.5 si anti-M. Okay, so anti-M can produce a what? The anti-M can actually the anti-M reacts best at pH 6.5. Okay? Next, temperature. Pag cold reacting, IgM. Warm reacting, IgG. Okay, so pag cold reacting, it's IgM. Warm reacting, it's IgG. So take note, meron tayong tinatawag na biphasic antibody. Pag sinabi po natin biphasic, it reacts at dual temperature. Okay? So meron tayong tinatawag na biphasic, the auto anti-P. Okay? So meron tayong tinatawag na auto anti-P. Okay? So auto anti-P, an antibody that is said to be a biphasic hemolysin. Ibig sabihin, it can react both at warm and cold temperature. Okay? So biphasic hemolysin, it can react both at warm and cold temperature. Okay? So we'll be talking about that later on sa auto anti-P. Okay? So pagdating natin ng P blood group. Okay? And immunoglobulin type, kapag makakita ka po ng makakita ka ng IgG, hindi po yan agad-agad will cause agglutination. Okay? Pag IgM, that's the time that it will cause agglutination. Okay? So pag IgG, hindi po agad agglutination. IgM, yan po kagad yung makakita ka ng agglutination. Okay? And lastly, we have here your centrifugation. So centrifugation also plays a role or it was also a factor affecting the what? A factor affecting the, okay? Next, we have here your zeta potential. So we have here your zeta potential. So the distance of one red cell to another red cell, that is your zeta potential. Okay? So the distance of one red cell to another red cell, that is your zeta potential. Okay? Okay, so the distance of one red cell to another red cell, I repeat, that is your zeta potential. Why is it, bakit sir mahaba ang distance ng isang red cell to another red cell? Ang reason po natin dyan is that what? Okay? Is, remember the red cells are negatively charged. So red cells, I repeat, the red cells, these are negatively charged cells because of the sialic acid component. And when we say, if they are negatively charged, ano nga na magiging epekto niyan? They will repel each other. Okay? So yung degree of repulsion between one red cell to another red cell, that is now your zeta potential. Kaya dito guys, makikita nyo, as you can see, IgG alone will not cause agglutination. Okay? There's no agglutination. Bakit? This is actually the smallest, this is actually the smallest immunoglobulin, and it will what? It will not link one cell to another cell. Okay? So IgG being the smallest immunoglobulin, it will not link one cell to another cell. Okay? So whereas IgM, this is an agglutinin. Bakit? Pagdating pa lang sa IgM, okay? Pagdating pa lang sa IgM being the largest, it will now cause agglutination. Okay? So it will now cause agglutination. Okay? So what is a way that is used to detect the presence of IgG antibodies? So what are those ways that can be used to detect the presence of IgG antibodies in the specimen? Well, we can use enhancement medium or potentiator. Okay, so we can use enhancement medium or potentiator to what? Okay, enhancement medium or potentiator to um, to 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 detect the presence of these IgG antibodies. So enhancement medium, these are agent that detects IgG antibodies by increasing the reactivity. What else? Sabi ko nga sa inyo, the distance of one red cell to another red cell, that is your zeta potential. Okay? And this enhancement medium will decrease the zeta potential. What else? It may enhance antibody uptake. It may enhance antibody uptake, or it may promote direct agglutination, just like the one that is what? Okay? In the anti-human globulin reagent. Okay? Okay, next. So example of a enhancement medium. So we have example of a enhancement medium. We have here your protein media. So example of an enhancement medium is we have here your protein media. It increases the dielectric constant. So the protein media increases the dielectric constant and a measure of electrical conductivity which reduces the zeta potential. So example of this is we have here your 22% bovine serum albumin. Kindly take note, the bovine serum albumin, that is actually what? That is actually the cheapest. This is actually the cheapest potentiator. The bovine serum albumin, kindly take note, that is said to be the cheapest potentiator. Okay, it is the cheapest. Yun nga lang, ang major disadvantage po nito, okay? So, ang major disadvantage nito is that what? Okay? This is the one with the longest incubation time. Okay? So the 22% bovine serum albumin, this is the one with the longest incubation time. Others, gaano pa katagal? Well, in most references, incubation time for bovine serum albumin is 30 to 60 minutes. So, matagal talaga siya. So, 30 to 60 minutes. Next, another potentiator, we have here your protein media, the polyethylene glycol. Okay? And others, the polyvinyl pyrrolidone and protamine. These are examples of the protein media. So let's discuss further si polyethylene glycol solution. Si polyethylene glycol solution, ang mode of action po nito is to remove, okay? Okay? Okay, it removes water molecule in the environment. When we say water molecule, bakit ba tinatanggal si water? Because this water is actually one of the reason why the cells are actually separated from each other. Okay? So the red cells are actually far from each other because the water here creates a surface tension that helps to keep the cells apart. And so anong ginagawa ng polyethylene glycol solution is the purpose of it is to remove the excess water. Okay? So incubation time is 10 to 30 minutes. So the incubation time for this, okay, the incubation time is 10 to 30 minutes. So ganyan po yan katagal. So 10 to 30 minutes. But syempre wala pa rin tatalo sa protein media na albumin. Another potentiator is the low ionic strength solution. Generally, it contains 0.2% sodium chloride. Okay, so it contains 0.2 percent sodium chloride, kaya low ionic strength solution. Okay? So, since may 0.2% sodium chloride, di ba? It can lyse the red cell because this is hypotonic. So, what is added in the LISH that promotes, okay, the 0.2% sodium chloride that can promote, that will prevent lysis? We add actually glycine. So, glycine is actually added to prevent the lysis of the red cell whenever we use the low ionic strength solution. And this decreases the ionic strength. So take note, this decreases the ionic strength of a reaction medium, which reduces the zeta potential. Okay? Okay, so ito po ang madalas gamitin. Okay? Ito po ang madalas gamitin ng laboratory. Bakit? Of all the potentiator, this is the one with the shortest incubation time. So incubation time is cut from, take note, yung 60 minutes kanina, it can be incubated as low as 5 to 15 minutes. Ang average po nitong ginagamit is 10 minutes for the LISs, but as low as 5 to 15 minutes, take note, 5 minutes lang, nakapag-incubate ka na. Okay? Yun nga lang, the major disadvantage of this technique, of this reagent, is that this is actually prone to false positive results. So the major disadvantage of this procedure of this reagent is that this is prone to false positive result. Another potentiator is, we have here the proteolytic enzyme. So another potentiator is the proteolytic enzyme. So remember, what is responsible in the negative charge of the cell? It is actually called, it is the sialic acid. Okay? So pag sinabing proteolytic enzyme, the purpose of this is to what? Destroy the sialic acid component. So the primary purpose of this, I repeat, is to destroy the sialic acid component. Remember, that is the cause of the negative charge of the cell. Okay? So it targets the sialic acid component, but kindly take note, some of the blood groups are actually enhanced. It enhances the RH, it enhances the KID, the P1, the Lewis, and the I antigen, but some of the blood groups are actually destroyed, like the DAFI and the MNSS. Okay? Okay, so take note, the blood groups that are easily destroyed. Okay, the blood group that is easily destroyed, we have here your DAFI A, DAFI B, and the MNS, or bottom line, the DAFI and the MNSS antigens. These are actually the ones that are actually easily destroyed by the enzymes. Okay? Examples of source of enzyme: papain from papaya, phycin from fig plants, trypsin from pig stomach, bromelain isolated from the pineapple. Okay? So, next, remember the polyethylene glycol solution. Okay, the polyethylene glycol solution, this is more effective than albumin, LISS, for the detection of weak antibodies. So polyethylene glycol, I repeat, are more effective than albumin, LISS, for the detection of weak antibodies. Okay, next, another potentiator is the anti-human globulin test. This detects antibodies. So this detects antibodies and complement proteins that have attached to the red cell. Remember, ang problem natin, example with the IgG, if this is the red cell, Yung problem natin sa kanila is that what? Okay? Yung problem natin is that the antibody, kung IgG man yan, we will not be able to determine if the cell is actually coated by the IgG antibodies or complement protein. So kaya dito na buo si anti-human globulin reagent. Anong gagawin ni anti-human globulin reagent? The AHG will now act as a bridge between these two incomplete antibodies. So this will act as a bridge between these two incomplete antibodies. Okay? So this will act as a bridge between two incomplete antibodies. Okay? So it will act as a bridge between two incomplete antibodies. So ito na po yung magkokos ng agglutination. So kindly take note, ito. Okay? So kung makikita nyo dito guys, okay? So kung makikita nyo dito, these cells are coated with IgG antibodies. So these cells are coated with IgG antibodies. So yung problem natin is that hindi natin malaman kung this is actually coated. So how do we know if that is coated? We will now be adding the anti-human globulin reagent, and this AHG will now act as a bridge between this incomplete. By the way guys, kanina pa pala ako incomplete ng incomplete. When you say incomplete antibodies, these are antibodies that can cause, okay, these are antibodies that can cause, these are antibodies that can cause, or that, I mean, incomplete antibodies are antibodies that cannot cause, okay, these are antibodies that cannot cause agglutination. Okay, so these are antibodies, I repeat, that cannot cause agglutination. So that is your incomplete antibodies. They cannot cause agglutination, and incomplete antibodies can be detected using the anti-human globulin reagent. Okay, so the incomplete antibodies, I repeat, can be detected using the anti-human globulin reagent. So ayan na. So if that is really negative, halimbawa, wala naman. Red cells are not coated with the complement proteins or the antibodies. If it is not coated, then take note, kahit lagyan mo ng AHG, there will be no agglutination. Okay? And to determine if this is really negative, we add check cells. So take note, in anti-human globulin test, to determine if that is really a negative result, okay, to determine if that is really a negative result, ibig sabihin, hindi mo po nagamit yung anti-human globulin reagent. Okay? Hindi mo nagamit yung anti-human globulin reagent. Then, we add check cells. So what are check cells? Check cells are cells with, these are cells with, okay, bound antibody. So if that is a true, negative result, lagyan mo ngayon ng check cells, the AHG will be used, and there should be agglutination. So after the addition of check cells, to validate the result as negative, after the addition of check cells, there should be agglutination. Pag walang agglutination after the addition of check cells to a negative result, then you have no choice but to repeat the procedure. Okay? If after agglutination, after the addition of check cells, wala pa ring agglutination, then you have no choice but to repeat the procedure because it will invalidate the result. So examples, we have here your direct anti-human globulin test. Okay. Okay, so direct anti-human globulin test. So we have here your direct anti-human globulin test. So pag sinabi po nating direct, it detects in vivo sensitization. Ang ibig sabihin po ng in vivo sensitization, ibig sabihin inside the body, there is already antigen-antibody reactions. I repeat, in vivo sensitization means inside the body, there is already antigen-antibody reaction. So nung kinuha mo yung blood, sa tao, okay, hindi mo na kailan mag-incubate. Bakit? There's already bound antibody to its antigen. And usually, the direct anti-human globulin test is used in the following clinical condition. Okay, so diagnosis of the hemolytic disease of the fetus in the newborn. What else? Investigation of hemolytic transfusion reaction. What else? Diagnosis of autoimmune hemolytic anemia. So I repeat, the direct anti-human globulin can be used in the following: diagnosis of hemolytic disease of the fetus in the newborn, investigation of hemolytic transfusion reaction, and diagnosis of autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Okay, so diagnosis of AIHA or autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Okay? So remember, ano yung common keyword here? It's hemolytic. Bakit? Remember, if there is antigen-antibody reaction, okay? If there is antigen-antibody reaction, expect that there will, in the inside the body, expect that the red cells could be lysed. Okay? Kapag may dumikit na antibody sa red cell, expect that the red cells could be lysed. Why? Because complement proteins can be triggered, or it can actually cause what? It can actually cause the spleen to destroy the particular cell. Okay? So kaya pag merong bound antibody, usually it results to hemolysis. Kaya hence, the DAT is used to detect in vivo sensitization such as hemolytic in cases of hemolytic disease of the fetus in the newborn, hemolytic transfusion reaction, and autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Okay, EDTA blood sample of choice. The sample of choice here is the EDTA blood. Particularly, ano po ang kailangan natin sa EDTA blood? Ang kailangan po natin sa EDTA blood is the red cell. Because in the red cell, dito po natin gusto malaman if there is really bound antibody. Okay, in the red cell, I repeat, we want to determine if there is really bound antibody to the what? Bound antibody to the red cell. Okay? So for the procedure of the direct anti-human globulin test, so for the procedure of the direct anti-human globulin test, so we just wash the cell. Or remember, the reason why we wash the cell, okay, so the reason why we wash the cell is to remove the free or unbound or excess antibody, okay? So the reason why we wash the cell is to remove the free or the unbound or the excess antibody, because the free or the unbound antibody will actually cause a false negative result. So tandaan yan guys ha, the unbound antibody or free antibody can cause what? It can actually cause a false negative result. Bakit false negative result? False negative kasi it can actually what? Okay? It can actually neutralize the anti-human globulin reagent. So this procedure does not require incubation. So I repeat, this particular procedure does not require incubation kasi automatic, andyan na kaagad yung what? Andyan na kaagad yung bound antibody. Okay? Okay? Next, we have here the indirect anti-human globulin test. Ito naman, it detects in vitro sensitization. Okay? Okay, so it detects in vitro sensitization of the red cell. So ito naman, pag sinabi natin in vitro, it's outside. Okay? So that is for in vivo sensitization. Indirect, this is for in vitro sensitization. Ibig sabihin, the antigen-antibody reaction occurred outside the body. Okay? And this is used in the following mga procedures ito. Okay? Antibody detection, antibody identification, antibody titration, red cell phenotyping, cross-matching. Okay? So may detection, may identification, titration, may phenotyping, and we have also the cross-matching. Okay? So these are the different procedures of, these are the different examples of tests that uses the principle of indirect anti-human globulin test. Okay, so for the procedure of IAT, always remember this. In IAT, we can either use the red cells or we can use the serum or plasma. Okay, so hindi lang po siya pang serum or plasma. Red cells can actually be used in the determination or in the use of the indirect anti-immunoglobulin test. So pag red cells ang specimen natin, take note, we incubate it with anti-sera, we wash it, we add the AHG reagent. Okay? So pagdating naman sa serum, okay, since we want to determine the antibodies, it is incubated pagdating sa reagent result. Okay? So ganun na guys, there is incubation, we wash it, then that's the time that we'll be adding the AHG reagent. Okay, so remember, we need to we need to wash or remove the excess or unbound antibody, because the excess or unbound antibody will actually cause a false negative, okay, result. Why? It can neutralize your AHG reagent. Okay, AHG reagent could be what? AHG reagent could be polyspecific. So, pag sinabi po natin polyspecific, it contains IgG or C3d. It can detect either the either, but rather both. Okay, both the IgG antibodies on the surface of the cell, or it could detect the complement proteins attached to the cell. Okay, so that is your polyspecific AHG. It can target both the IgG and complement protein on the surface of the cell. On the other hand, monospecific will target either. There's only one specificity. It can target either the IgG or the complement protein. Okay? So polyspecific AHG will give you sensitivity kasi it can detect IgG or complement proteins. Monospecific will give you specificity. This is associated with specificity. In terms of AHG preparation, the anti-human globulin reagent could be via polyclonal. Pag sinabi po nating polyclonal ibig sabihin, mixture of antibodies from different, or there is formation of the different plasma cell. So different plasma cell will produce the different antibodies targeting the particular epitope. Okay? So it can recognize different antigen determinant or portion, but with different affinities. And the animal used in the preparation of a polyclonal AHG preparation, that is your rabbits. Okay, so in the preparation, we have here your rabbits. Okay, monoclonal, on the other hand, derived from one clone of cells and recognize them. Okay, so monoclonal is made from a single clone cell, and the animal use is the mice. So take note. So polyclonal rabbits. Pag monoclonal, the animal use, that is now your mice. So monoclonal mice, polyclonal rabbits. So this is an image showing us the preparation of a polyclonal antibody using the rabbits. While this one is an image showing us the production of monoclonal antibodies from the mice. Okay? Okay, so check cells, as what I mentioned, ang purpose po ng check cell is to confirm if the AHG is really negative. Okay? Okay? So again, the purpose of the check cells is actually used to confirm if the result is really negative. What should be the expected result? Ang pag nilagyan mo ng check cells, there will be agglutination. Okay? So there will be agglutination. It will validate the result is really negative. Okay, next. factors affecting the AHG test. So factors affecting, so we have the cell serum ratio. Lagi naman yan, cell serum ratio, one drop red cell suspension plus 2 drops serum. Okay, so 1 drop red cell suspension plus 2 drop serum. Reaction medium, so kailangan natin ng reaction medium because this will promote antigen-antibody reaction, particularly the potentiator. Temperature. Okay, yung temperature natin dito, incubation temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So 37 degrees Celsius, bakit 37? Because remember dito we are dealing with IgG antibodies. So we are, I repeat, dealing with IgG antibodies. So kaya 37 degrees Celsius. Incubation time is dependent on the potentiator use. So incubation time, I repeat, is dependent on the potentiator use. Remember, pag gumamit ka ng LISS, 30 to 60 minutes. Pag albumin, bovine serum albumin, 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Kapag LISS, that is 5 to 15 minutes. Okay? Okay? So kindly take note that detects a level of 100 to 500 IgG molecules per red cell and 400 to 1,100 ml of C3d per red cell. And for it to give us a positive result, there must be between 100 and 200 IgG or C3 molecules on the cell to obtain a positive reaction. Okay? Okay? Next, another rule in blood bank, always remember this, the antigen plus its corresponding antibody will give you a reaction. Okay? The antigen plus its corresponding antibody definitely will give you a reaction. And what are those reactions in blood bank? First, we have agglutination. Di ba? When you say agglutination, we are talking about particulate antigen. Okay, so agglutination. Okay, these are actually what? Okay, these are actually a reaction that involves the use of particulate or large antigen. Hemolysis, on the other hand, is the rupture of red cells with release of intracellular hemoglobin. And what usually helps the antibody in cell lysis, that is your complement proteins. Okay, so what helps the antibody in lysing the cell, that is your complement proteins. But remember, kindly take note that hemolysis can only be present if we use serum specimen. Okay, so hemolysis can only be used, okay, can only be used to what? Can only be used to, hemolysis can only be seen if we use serum as our specimen. Bakit hindi, sir, plasma? Because pag gumamit tayo ng plasma, remember, the most commonly used anticoagulant in the laboratory is the EDTA. And the mode of action of EDTA is to chelate calcium. Okay? So, remember, calcium is important in complement activation. So, calcium, I repeat, is important in complement activation. Okay? So, okay, if you want to see hemolysis as a positive result, then it is recommended that you use the serum. Others, ito minor lang po ito, precipitation. So, formation of an insoluble complex when soluble antigens reacts with a soluble body. So, formation of an insoluble complex when soluble antigens with soluble body. Okay? So, precipitation reaction, soluble antigen. Take note, however, that specific heme agglutination is the single most important in vitro immunologic reactions. Specific heme agglutination, I repeat, is the single most important in vitro immunologic reaction in blood bank because It is the endpoint of almost all test system. Okay? Okay, so these are the different serological grade of in blood bank. Ito, you can think of this as parang t-shirt. So 4 plus is one solid agglutinate. Ibig sabihin, you can imagine the size as extra large. Okay, o lagi yung joke sa estudyante, if nahiya kayo magsabi ng XL, you can say 4 plus. Okay, next, medium to large. That's 3 plus. So pag medium, that is 2 plus. So XL, large, medium, ano to? Okay? So, large, medium, pag small, that is 1 plus, and weak reaction, extra small or tiny agglutinates. Pag 0, there's no agglutination or actually hemolysis. Okay? So these are the different serological, these are the different grading of agglutination reaction. But kindly take note, okay? Kindly take note. In blood bank, if you got a 1 plus or weak reaction, it is advisable that you repeat the procedure. Okay, so ulitin ko if ever you got a 1 plus or weak reaction, it is advisable that you repeat the procedure because sometimes, okay? Because sometimes this 1 plus or weak reaction, this is actually your source of discrepancy. So yan po yung nagbibigay sa inyo ng source of discrepancy. Okay? So 1 plus or weak reaction, I repeat, if ever you got this result, you need to repeat the procedure. Okay? So 1 plus or weak reaction, you need to repeat because sometimes, ito po yung magbibigay ng questionable results sa atin. Kaya, mas okay nang ulitin mo siya. Okay? Ang pinagkaiba po guys ng hemolysis, pag sinabing capital H, complete hemolysis po ito, partial hemolysis. Pag complete hemolysis, you can no longer or you will not be able to see any red cell. Nasira na siya. Okay, that's complete hemolysis. In partial hemolysis, at least at the bottom, you can still see what? You can still see a red cell. So that is partial. Regardless, capital H man yan or PH, that is still a positive result. Mixed field, take note, this is defined as the presence of small agglutinates within predominantly unagglutinated red cells. So small agglutinates with predominantly unagglutinated. Okay. So mixed field, presence of agglutinated cell in a sea of unagglutinated cells. So wala kang makikitang or konti na yung makikita mong agglutination. Okay. In the ordinary tube method, you will be only seeing this microscopically. So I repeat, in the ordinary tube method, you will be seeing this microscopically. Kailangan mo ng microscope. But if you use gel technology, okay, if you use gel technology, then macroscopically, di mo kailangan ng microscope. Okay, Sir Bucket? Okay. So this is your mixed field reaction. May cell sa taas, may cell sa bottom. Okay. So, gel technology po ito. May cell sa ilalim, may cell sa taas. Okay, next. What could be mistaken as agglutination? That is your rouleau formation. So, kung makikita mo, the starting of red cells like coin, that is actually rouleau formation. And what is the most important factor? What is the most important factor that promotes rouleau formation? That is actually your plasma protein. The most important factor that promotes rouleau formation, I repeat, that is your plasma protein. Particularly, anong plasma protein po ang nagpro-promote ng rouleau formation? That is your fibrinogen. Okay, so the number one important factor that promotes rouleau formation, that is your fibrinogen. Okay, kaya madalas yung makita ang rouleau formation if you use plasma as your specimen. But take note guys ha, baka isipin nyo, ay bawal ang plasma. Hindi pwede. Actually, based from our references, we can either use the plasma or serum as our specimen in blood bank. Okay? So dito, how do we differentiate if that is RULO or agglutination? We add NSS. Okay? So how will we know if that is RULO or agglutination? We add NSS. Okay? So kapag yan nag-agglutinate, I mean, kapag hindi po natanggal yung agglutination, that is true agglutination. Kapag nag-disperse, then that is only RULO. Next, another topic is we have here the blood group genetics. In this particular session, we'll only be talking about, in most cases, the definition of terms, the definition of terms in this particular session. So blood group genetics, tandaan nyo, the gene is said to be the unit of inheritance. This is the basic unit of inheritance. That is your gene. So this is a unit of inheritance that encodes a particular protein. Okay? At pag sinabi nating chromosome, this is a structure within the nucleus that actually contains the genetic material, the DNA. So gene is the unit of inheritance and they encode a particular protein, whereas si chromosome, these are structures within the nucleus that contains the genetic material, the DNA. Okay, so take note. O, syempre, pag sinabing genetics, we have here the term genotype at phenotype. So pag sinabi po natin genotype, this is the unobservable trait. So genotype, I repeat, this is your unobservable trait, and this is found in the genes. Whereas your phenotype, this is now your observable trait. Okay? So actual gene makeup is your genotype. The phenotype, that is your observable trait. So an important tool in genetics is the Punnett square. Okay? Sa Punnett square, because this was introduced to us by Reginald Punnett. Okay? So, Reginald Punnett. Okay? So, the Punnett square, this is actually introduced to us by Reginald Punnett, illustrate the probabilities of phenotypes from known genotypes. So, dito guys, it can help us determine the probability of phenotype using known genotype. Okay? Okay? So, let's talk about the different genotypes, phenotype of the ABO blood group because that is very important. So, assuming, ito guys yung mga genotype. Okay, so AA, AO, BB, BO, AB, O. Okay? So take note, if this is your genotype, okay? So AA, what's the phenotype? That's A. AO, A. BB, B. BO, B. AB, it's A and B. And OO, that is your phenotype. This is now the particular phenotype, okay, genotype of the ABO blood group. So dito, malalaman po natin that both A gene and B gene are both dominant genes. So both A gene and B gene are dominant gene because they are always expressed. Okay? Whereas O gene is considered a recessive gene. Okay? So A gene, B gene are dominant gene, O gene are recessive gene. In the presence of a dominant gene, they will never be expressed. And O gene dapat lagi lang sa homozygous genotype. Okay? So dito, for example, okay, we have here a parent that is, si mother example is heterozygous A, si father heterozygous B, ay homozygous B pala rather. So take note. So example, we have here a partnership of an AO wife with the BB husband. So tanong, what are the potential blood type of their offspring? So eto guys, tingnan lang natin, AO, BB. Okay? So even distribution lang po ito, AB, BO, BO. Okay? AB, ito AB, this one is BO. So based from this illustration, ilang percent probability will be A, ilang probability will be B. Okay, so A, wala. 0% probability. B, so take note, may B tayo dito. Okay, B. Okay? So how about AB? AB is 50%. Yung B natin, this is 50%. Okay, ang O, wala, 0%. So, etong bottom line, pag merong isang AB, then do not expect that what? Pag merong isang AB sa mag-asawa, okay? Either the wife or the husband, do not expect that you will have a type O offspring. Okay? Kasi imposible po. So, for example, nag-asawa AB at type O. Okay? So, AO, BO. AO, BO. So, makikita nyo guys, okay? So, ayan. Other terms, locus is a site of gene in a chromosome. Whereas, pag sinabi po nating allele, allele means these are the alternate forms of a gene at a given locus. Okay? So, we have here the gene locus here. And when we say antithetical, these are opposite antigen encoded at the same locus. So, antithetical, I repeat, opposite antigen encoded at the same locus. Okay, another term, so codominant, equal expression of two different inherited alleles. So equal expression of two different inherited alleles. Dominant genes like the A gene and B genes, these are always expressed. So the A gene and the B gene are always expressed. Whereas the O gene is a recessive gene, a gene that does not, in the presence of a dominant gene, will never be expressed. Okay, so they will never be expressed. And an amorph is a gene that does not produce any detectable trait. So a gene that does not produce any detectable trait. Okay? So again, homozygous identical alleles. So homozygous genotype identical alleles. Heterozygous different. So example, AA, AA. BB, BB. That is heterozygous. Pero kapag, halimbawa, ito A, ito O, or B tapos O, okay, that is heterozygous. Okay, so pag sinabi po natin heterozygous, it is associated with different alleles. Homozygous, the same. Heterozygous, different. Examples of amorph, we have here the OO gene seen in blood type O and the small h gene seen in Bombay phenotype. So the small h gene, I repeat, this is seen in Bombay phenotype. So remember, pag sinabi po nating amorph, this is a gene that does not produce any detectable trait. So example po ng amorph, we have the O gene and the small h gene. And also kindly take note of this term. Suppressor gene is a gene that suppresses the expression of another gene. So suppressor gene is a gene that suppresses the expression of another gene. Okay? Take note. Take note. When writing the identity of a gene, it is usually italicized. Pag gene ang pinag-uusapan, italicized. Pero kapag ordinary lang, it can be typed as ordinary. Okay? So pag genes ang pinag-uusapan, it should be italicized. Pero if we are referring to the antigen, then it should not be italicized. Next, the father of genetics, we have here si Austrian monk rather. Gregor Mendel, this individual is considered as the father of genetics. Okay? So what are the two laws? In the RH, what are the two laws that was suggested by Gregor Mendel? Okay? So the first law is that alternative version of genes account for variation in the inherited characters. Okay, and this is the law of segregation. The law of segregation is best demonstrated using the Punnett square. Okay, so ayan, the law of segregation. The second law, individual genes of different traits are inherited separately. Okay, and this is now the law of independent assortment. Okay, so these are the different chromosomal arrangements. So these are the different chromosome arrangement of genes for the common blood group system. Okay, so ito, I think this will be also mentioned once we discuss the other blood group. So XY blood group, genes coding are found in the sex chromosome. Take note, majority of the blood groups are autosomes, except for the sex chromosome, wherein this is controlled by the what? This is controlled by the sex chromosome. Okay, now let's talk about the ABO blood group. So take note, we'll be talking about the most important blood group in transfusion therapy. So take note, this is the most important in transfusion therapy. Bakit? Ito po ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. Because this is the most immunogenic blood group. And this is said to be the first blood group to be discovered. So the first blood group to be discovered, that is your ABO blood group. So the ABO blood group, again, as what I mentioned earlier, this is the most important blood group, the most important of all because this is considered as the most immunogenic blood group. What else? This is the only blood group wherein individuals already have the particular antibody. So I repeat, this is the only blood group wherein the individuals, they have already the particular antibodies Okay, so again, good afternoon. May I just confirm if I am clear?
Yes po,
Okay,
sir.
so okay, thank you. So we have here, this is the most important. So of all the blood group, this is the most important. Bakit? This is the most immunogenic. Okay, so of all the blood group, this is the most important because this is actually the most immunogenic. Okay, so kaya ito ang pinaka number one. So most immunogenic of all the blood group. And kindly take note, the ABO, the ABH antigen, kindly take note, they become fully developed after 2 to 4 years of age. So dito guys, this is one of the reason why the ABO blood group is not associated with, take note this is not associated with severe hemolytic disease of the fetus and the newborn. Tandaan nyo guys ang ABO, it is not, it can cause hemolytic disease of the fetus and the newborn, but ang cause yan is not severe. Because one of the reason, because the ABH antigens, they become fully developed 2 to 4 years following birth. Okay? So they become fully developed 2 to 4 years following birth. Okay? So yan. This is the only blood group in which individuals have antibodies in their serum. Hence, remember in the discussion earlier, this is the only blood group with naturally occurring antibodies. So take note, this is the blood group with naturally occurring. Pag sinabi po natin naturally occurring antibodies, you do not need foreign red cell exposure. Okay, so you do not need foreign red cell exposure for the ABO blood group. Okay? For the ABO antibodies to be produced. So, hindi nyo kailangan ng foreign red cell exposure. Okay? So, the only blood group in which individuals already have antibodies. And take note, since antibodies are already present, wrong transfusion. Okay? So, wrong transfusion of the ABO blood group remains a cause of, the number one cause of death in terms of hemolytic transfusion reaction because remember, you already have the antibodies. So take note, kung yung type O, bigyan mo ng type A blood, ang type O, it has already the what? It has already the anti-A, it has already the anti-B antibody. Okay? So yan. Okay, so take note, wrong transfusion of blood, of the ABO blood group will result to severe, fatal hemolytic transfusion reaction. Take note, hemolytic, because ABO antibodies can cause lysis. And aside from very important in terms of transfusion medicine, okay, the ABO blood group is also important because it can affect clinical transplantation. Okay, it can affect clinical transplantation. So it's very important that aside from being ABO compatible, the blood should all, or aside sa HLA compatible, the organ that needs to be given or that will be transplanted should be, okay, take note, they should be, um, okay, they should be ABO compatible. Because remember, the ABO blood group is a histo blood group. Okay? So the ABO blood group is a histo blood group. Okay? So ayan. Okay? And syempre, kung wrong kung wrong organ can be given, halimbawa hindi ABO, HLA compatible pero ABO incompatible. Okay? Histo blood group, ibig sabihin the antigens are also found in the blood, in the tissue, it can result to hyperacute rejection. Remember, when you say hyperacute rejection, pagka bigay pa lang ng organ, there will be rejection kaagad. Okay? Okay? So, who discovered? Sino ba ito si Karl Landsteiner? Okay? So, who is Karl Landsteiner? Karl Landsteiner was the one who discovered the ABO blood group. He discovered the ABO blood group in the year 19. 1901. So Karl Landsteiner, take note, discovered the ABO blood group in the year 1901 or in the year 1900s. Okay? 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 So ayan, so 1901. So, ayon kay Landsteiner, so take note prior to, remember in our history, prior to the discovery of the ABO blood group, okay, the blood transfusion is considered as a dark magic. Sir, bakit siya considered as a dark magic? Considered as a dark magic because, okay, madami pong namamatay in terms of transfusion. So, wrong transfusion of blood, patay kagad kasi, as what was mentioned earlier, it is associated with, okay, it is actually associated with, uh, yung dark magic, okay, kasi madami pong namamatay associated with fatal hemolytic transfusion reaction. So, because of Karl Landsteiner, he was able to prevent the transfusion reaction. So because of Karl Landsteiner, I repeat, he was able to prevent the transfusion reaction because of Karl Landsteiner. Kasi he was able to discover the ABO blood group. So according to Karl Landsteiner, okay, meron siyang law na na-develop. Antigen on the red cells determines the blood group. Okay? Antigen on the red cell determines the blood group. The corresponding antibody is never found in the individual serum. So the corresponding antibody is never found in the individual serum. So what is present is the opposite antibody. So what is present is the opposite antibody. So these are your Landsteiner law. So ano po 'yan? So ano po yung Landsteiner law? So first, take note, what determines, di ba, meron tayong tinatawag na blood type A, blood type B, blood type AB, blood type O. What determines the blood type is the antigens present on the red cells. So it is called type A because it has the A antigen. It's called type B because it has the B. Blood type AB because both A and B are present. Blood type O because there is no A and B antigens. Okay? So these are your, take note, these are your uh, blood types. What else? According to the Landsteiner law, what is the corresponding antibody is never present. So ibig sabihin, pag type A ka, there is no anti-A. At type B ka, there is no anti-B in your serum. Anti-AB is absent in the AB. Okay? What is present is the opposite antibody. So for type A, meron na pong anti-B. For type B, meron ng anti-A. For type AB, there is no. But for type O, we have anti-A and anti-AB. A unique antibody of type O, dagdag natin dito, is the anti-H. So, a unique antibody of type O is the anti-H. Okay, sir, bakit anti-H? Pagdating sa anti-H, there is actually what? Okay, so pagdating sa anti-H, there is actually the, anti-H, sorry, anti-AB. Okay, so it's not anti-H, sorry it's anti-AB. So may anti-A, anti-B, anti-AB. And what is unique with anti-AB? This is said to be of the IgG type. Okay? So the anti-AB is of the IgG type. The rest, IgM. Okay? So the rest is of the, okay, the rest that is of the IgM type. Anti-AB is IgG. Okay? So, this is your typical ABO blood group. So, ano ang kailangan tandaan nyo dito? The universal donor, always remember, ang universal donor natin is the type O. Bakit? Type O is the universal red cell donor because there is no antigens. Okay? There is no antigens. Okay? Take note guys maling sabihin na O is the universal donor. We need to be specific. O is the universal red cell donor. Sir, bakit red cell donor? Because there is no antigens. Okay? At the same time, type O is the universal plasma receiver. So, tandaan nyo guys Maling sabihin na O is the universal donor. Mali, kulang. We need to be specific. O is the universal red cell donor. At the same time, it is the universal plasma receiver. Bakit? Wala po siyang antigens. Okay. Okay? So again, O is the universal red cell donor, at the same time, universal plasma receiver. It can receive different plasma from different blood types because there is no antigen. On the other hand, AB is the universal red cell receiver. Bakit red cell receiver? Ang AB, you can give type A, type B, type O because there is no antibodies. So AB is the universal red cell receiver. On the other hand, AB is universal donor, plasma donor. So take note, medyo kulang kung sasabihin mo lang na universal donor, universal receiver, we need to be complete. So O is the universal red cell donor, at the same time universal plasma receiver. Okay? Si AB naman, universal red cell receiver, at the same time universal plasma donor kasi wala po siyang antibodies. Okay? Also, we have here your different ISBT terminologies, the A, the B, the ABA1. May corresponding ISBT, International Society of Blood Transfusion. Okay? So, ayan. Okay? So, ISBT. Okay? So, ISBT. As you can see, ISBT terminologies, it's made up of 6 digits. Okay? So, we have the first 3, we have the last 3. Ganyan yan. The first 3 represents the blood group. Okay? So, 001 is the ABO blood group. 004, it is the RH blood group. For example, so the first 3 blood group represents, the first 3 number represents the blood group. Okay? So the first 3 represents the blood group. The last 3 represents the antigenic specificity. So the first 3, the blood group. The last 3, antigens. Kaya makikita nyo dito, lahat yan 001 because it refers to the ABO blood group. Sa RH naman, the first 3 starts with 004, again, because it represents the blood group. The last 3, on the other hand, is for antigenic specificity. Okay? So, ano yung advantage? Why was the ISBT developed? ISBT developed for us to have a uniform, terminology. Okay? So, the first 3, kindly take note, blood group. The last 3 means that is your antigenic activity. Antigenic specificity. Okay? So, we will be talking about ISBT once we reach, syempre, in every blood group, there is a particular ISBT terminology. So, we have here your other ABO nomenclatures. Meron tayong tinatawag na, syempre, Jansky and the Moss. Okay? So, these are the corresponding nomenclature other than the Landstein. Okay? So, yan. So, take note. There is already a corresponding, Jansky and Moss nomenclature other than the Landstein. Okay? Actually, Jansky and Moss, ano po ang significance nito? It actually brought confusion to the medtech world. Okay? Joke lang, not in the medtech world, but rather, it brought confusion to the, okay? It brought confusion to the blood bank world because syempre medyo nakakalito. Ano ba si type O? Is it 1 or 4 or AB? Is it 1 or 4? Okay, so di natin alam. Okay? So kaya ang sinusunod natin is the Landsteiner nomenclature. Okay? So is this really true? Sabi nila, okay? Ang ating personality, ang blood type, there is a particular personality. So pag blood type A ka daw, okay? Ano ka daw? Pragmatist, so conservative, you're said to be, let's say, well, di natin alam kung totoo. Conservative, responsible, cautious, punctual. Okay? Pag ikaw type AB, you are said to be thinkers. Ayan, mapag-isip. Okay? Understanding, organized, rational, cool. Pag ikaw type B, wow, adventurous ka daw. So, unpredictable, passionate, confident, impulsive. And pagdating sa type O, o ako, me, I am type O. So, we are said to be leaders, natural leaders, ambitious, confident, and sociable. Okay? Also, okay, according to our reference, there is a particular condition associated with the blood type. Yung mga blood type A daw, including blood type AB, because you have the A antigen, you have high risk of having gastric carcinoma. Okay? So based on our studies, okay, based on the studies, pag type A ka, you have the A antigen, you have high risk of having gastric carcinoma. That also includes si AB kasi may A antigen ka. Ang mga type O, associated daw tayo sa ulcers. O kaya pag may nagkwento, sir, ba't ka mataba? O pwede mo sabihin, type O ako. Ano ngayon kung type O? Okay? Sabihin, ano kung type O? Kung tanong niya, sabihin mo, well, type O individuals have high risk of having ulcers. So, anong ginagawa natin? We are just preventing ulcer. Kaya kumakain tayo ng madami. O, di ba? So, that's a scientific explanation. Okay? Kasi usually, di ba? O, magkaka-ulcer pag hindi kumain. And kindly take note, okay, ang mga blood type B, there is no associated condition. Okay? So, based on studies, there is no associated condition. O, wag mo na magsaya. Although, sayang, wala na dito sa PowerPoint ko. But, okay, may nakita akong article. Ang mga blood type B daw, they are said to be, okay? So, itong mga blood type B daw, yung pagiging adventurer nila, mga blood type B, they, according to the article that I have read, they are said to be, ano yung description nila doon? Okay, they fall easily out of love. Okay, okay, madaling magbago. And they are attracted to several persons at the same time. So, mahirap na kaya, o magtanong ka muna if ano ang ABO blood type na ang iyong sisintahin. Okay, so pag B, unfortunate. Pero syempre, sabi-sabi lang yan. Okay, medyo ito naman, based kay Harmening, ang sabi naman, yung mga blood type A, okay, medyo, ito kay Harmening medyo, this is coming from Harmening, kung gusto nyo basahin, this is page 135. Ang mga blood type A daw, maano daw kayo, okay? Madali daw kayo hangover, associated sa mga blood type A, hangover. Okay, drink moderately. Okay, drink wisely. Okay? While yung mga type B, ito ang malala. Sabi ni Harmening, ang mga type B, they are associated with criminality. O yan. O, guys ano to this is galing kay Harmening, criminality. So hindi po to galing sa akin, this is coming from Harmening. Ang sinasabi, ang mga blood type B associated with criminality. Okay? At least yung nabasa natin ko kanina is all about being attracted to several person at the same time. Okay? Ang dito kay Harmening, criminality. And last, wala siyang sinabi kay EB, kay type O meron. Ang type O, this is associated with good teeth. Okay? So, associated daw sa good teeth ang mga type O. Okay? So, cardinal rule in blood bank, always remember this. The antigens are found on the red cells. Okay, so take note. It's a general rule, the antigens are found on the red cells, whereas the antibodies, these are found in the serum or plasma. So as a general rule, antigens are found on the red cells, whereas antibodies, these are found in the serum or plasma. So pag red cell typing, we detect the antigen. Antibody typing, we detect the antibodies or serum typing. Okay? So, ABO antibodies, so pinag-usapan na natin to earlier. These are naturally occurring. Ibig sabihin, antibodies, this does not require foreign exposure. This does not require foreign exposure for foreign red cell exposure for the antibodies to be produced. This is non-RBC stimulated. Diba? Kaya nga tinawag na non-RBC stimulated, the antibodies are produced because of exposure to a foreign red cell antigen. And they react at room temperature or cold temperature. So, ibig sabihin, these are IgM antibodies. Okay? So, they react at room or cold temperature. So, these are IgM antibodies. Okay? And they develop 3 to 6 months after birth. Tandaan nyo to Ang antigens, they develop 2 to 4 years following birth, whereas the antibodies, 3 to 6 months. Kaya for newborns, we usually perform only forward typing. For newborns, we only perform forward typing kasi wala pa po silang antibody. And as what I've mentioned sa introduction, this is associated with rapid intravascular hemolysis. Mabilis. So rapid intravascular hemolysis. Ibig sabihin, pagkadikit pa lang ng antibody sa red cell, there will already be hemolysis because these are IgM antibodies. And IgM antibodies are associated with, remember, this is the best complement fixer because it only requires one antibody to one IgM molecule to activate the complement. Okay? And take note, ito yung sinabi natin, for type A, anti-B. For type B, the opposite antibodies present. For AB, wala po. And for type O, we have here the anti-A, the anti-B, and the anti-AB antibody. This is a unique antibody of type O. This is of the IgG type. Okay? Kasi the rest, IgM, but for anti-AB, this is of the IgG type. Okay? So I think hanggang dito muna tayo so that in our next meeting, we'll be starting with the ABO grouping. Okay? So I would just like to ask, are there any questions or clarifications to the students with regards to our topic? In the morning and first part of the afternoon, we talk about serology. And in the PM session, itong second part, we already started with the blood bank. So may I just ask if there are any questions or clarifications with regards to our discussion? Okay, so if this is clear to everyone, pa-thumbs up nga class. If this is clear to everyone. Okay, none so far, sir. Sir, none po, none po. Oh, I think, okay lahat. Madami na nag-thumbs up. Okay, someone raise his hand. Okay, may nakita ko raise. Okay. None po, NUN. Madre, ano yun, madre. Okay, so, feeling ko napindot lang. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you very much to the class, to Ma'am Joy, to Sir Ace. Thank you very much and see you all again this coming March 9. Okay, so thank you very much.
Good. See you po sa third and last
March
day.
9
Yes
po.
po.
Sir Ace, thank you so much po, Sir Ace. Thank you po, thank you po. And to Ma'am Joy, thank you po.
Sige, thank you Sir Jude and I'd like to I guess Ma'am Nadine, you have some announcements to give in preparation for the post quiz of today. Just allow me to insert a bit Ma'am Nadine, no? So that I can give a heads up to everyone as well. We'll give the interns a few minutes, no, of break and perhaps a chance to do recap of not only today but also the first day's session and topics, no? So the series of quizzes we will have this afternoon will cover days 1 and 2. Okay, so I believe instruction coming from Ma'am April, Joy, and as well as what will follow will be from Ma'am Nadine. Will be for the assessment to start in a few minutes. I believe that's around 5:15, no? 15 minutes from now, we should all be ready to have our quiz and our OCP should be prepared also at least 10 minutes prior to that. So again, you can have a short break, but please make sure to be back and have your OCP ready for our quizzes this afternoon. Sige, so pwede na kayong mag-attend to your own personal necessities for the meantime, no? Have a stretch maybe or even magmerienda saglit. And please be back after 5 or 10 minutes. Ready nyo na ahead yung OCP ninyo. Okay. Ma'am Nads, ikaw na bahala po and Ma'am April.
Thank you, sir.